Okay, Abusia, NDC Deputy Director of Election, Dr. Rashid Tanku Ababontin, Ababe expose NPP Amanyukuno, Omo evil criminalities in Akwatia, Abusia, Enye Asem Kitu Akrane, and IPAC meeting, Ekos, na IPAC meeting na Ekos, no, and Sama Esiwasi, no, Deputy Director of Election, Dr. Rashid Tanku for NDC, Ababe drop a shocking revelation bi a ɛkɔɔ so ɛwɔ ase a ɔkyerɛ sɛ sisi ano NPP amanyɔkuo no ɛde nam sɛ ɔmo ɛretwe ni tax na NPP foɔ ne sɛ ɔmo ɛretwe ni no waba abɔnten de ho nsɛm aba abɛto dwa asan so ɛrelease ɔmo strategic plan a ɔmo de bɛ defeat NPP in Akwatia abusua abo NPP amanyokuo no abisa yi pa enye asem ketewa kra yensa mo mremo yanko na yenkonkotie ensima Dr. Rashid Tanku edituja unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabi aha Ghana politics avenue so medamase.
The Action People's Party candidate is the one who was disqualified. He's not having it. He's testing the law on the decision to disqualify him. We'll see how things play out. But as far as we do know, there are three candidates who's vying to replace the late NSC Akumi in this Akwatia constituency. But earlier today, the Electoral Commission held its final meeting with the political party representatives ahead of next week's crucial parliamentary election, this by-election in Akwatia. By next week, by this time, we would have known really who is the MP elect. But the contest will see Solomon Kwame Asumedu running on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party face off with Bernard Bediakobedu of the governing National Democratic Congress NDC next week Tuesday in the Akwatia constituency. A total of 52,338 registered voters across 119 polling stations are expected to choose a replacement for the late Member of Parliament, Ernest Yakome. Now, Rashid Tanko Computer is NDC's Deputy Director of Elections and IT, is joining us on Zoom right now. I thank you so much. You were in that meeting earlier today, both the NPP and the LPG as well. What was discussed at this last IPAC meeting ahead of the Tuesday by-election? Hello, Mr. Tanko, can you hear us? Unfortunate. We'll try to establish connection with Rashid Tanko again, but
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Alfred, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Perfect. I was asking, you were at this last IPAC meeting in Akwatia. What was discussed?
Very well. Let me say good evening to you and your cherished viewers. We had a very fruitful discussion today in Akwatia concerning the upcoming 2nd September election. It was held at the District Assembly of Akwatia, that is the Jambo District Assembly. The three political parties were there. I represented the NDC, the NPP were there, and then you have the LPG. You were all there in the meeting. A very fruitful discussion. They showed us when we should bring our party agents list. They gave us up Sunday to present our party agents list. Indeed, one party agent at a time, but they will also make room for replacement. Should we want so if they ask us to bring two, but one will be at the polling station until such time that if you want to replace them, the other person can come in. Accreditation, of course, they are going to give us accreditation. Those who are going to observe around the polling stations will also be accredited. We discussed all these things, and then the security architecture for the area, how it's going to pan out on that day. It was a very fruitful discussion. I mean, we were very pleased with the plan put together by the EC for the D-Day. We were very pleased with them.
I see. You talk about the security architecture on that day, and that's where the NPP also raises concern. They say they've got some intelligence that you, the NDC, you're planning to infiltrate the security deployment for that day with some of your people to do your bidding on that day. Did that matter come up at the IPAC meeting today? That is, if you had a meeting with the IGP there as well.
Well, nothing of that nature came out for discussion. I was even surprised when I heard their press conference. You see, the NPP, they are not learning from their past mistakes. They should stop the press conferences and join us at Akwatia for the campaign, and then they will appreciate what is going on in Akwatia rather than doing press conferences in Accra.
But they are campaigning. Are they not campaigning on the ground?
Well, they are virtually not there, because what I'm seeing is that they are relying on press conferences in Accra. That press conference was needless. It was just a baseless accusation against the NDC. In fact, we were Alfred today. I led the training of our party agents. Today, after the meeting with the political parties, with the Electoral Commission, we had planned to do our training today. We zoned the constituency into four zones, so that we can train our party agents within the zones, and then party officials who are going to man the polling station on the D-Day. So today has been a busy day for me in terms of the training of the party agents. Then you people go and hold press conference and say we are training tax. I don't understand them. They are not serious people at all.
But
even
you say
I snapped one of the training session and put it on my timeline.
Right, but you're saying that you were training your people and so on. They had reason to address this press conference. They enumerated a number of issues which they expect to be addressed, including the security matter that you talk about. That's of concern to them as a political party. Why are you saying that they are not being serious? If that is of concern to them, these are concerns that they want to address before the D-Day next week, Tuesday.
I'm saying that they needed to be around here. It appeared those who represented them did not brief them in Accra what we discussed in the meeting. Otherwise, why would they go and mess up themselves with that kind of press conference? Their people were there. Two of them, NPP, I think one of them was their former chairman, and the other person says he was the former director of election and research, also. Two of them who represented the NPP there. So they should have given them briefing of what transpired in the meeting, so that they'll stop this needless press conference they have over there. So we're training our party agents today.
Right.
We look at the training session, we were using dummy pink sheets to train them. It was public places. In fact, two of the centers were churches. We used.
I'm sorry. The Tanko will try to establish connection, but this is what the NPP said at this press conference earlier today, which Rashid Tanko has been referencing a number of times in this last submission. But this is it. Take a look.
The IGP has also assured us that the police have completed their deployment plan and will make the lists of their deployed officers available to the various political parties. On the honor of the IGP, the NPP demands the requested list of the senior officers to be deployed to each electoral area and the regional commanders who will be assisting them. We also request the IGP that all police officers on duty for the election must wear their official name tags, for easy identification and the avoidance of infiltration by the thugs that are planned to be included. We make this reasonable request with the hindsight of the police brutalities on the non-violent Let My Vote Count Alliance demonstrators in September 2015, where several demonstrators were trapped and mercilessly assaulted and one lost his eyes in the process.
Richard Ahiagba is Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. And these were the concerns that they put out at that press conference earlier about the matters of security and then also the assurances that the IGP, Christian Tete Yohono, has given to them. Rashid Tanko, you're saying that these matters of security were also discussed at this IPAC meeting and some assurances or resolutions reached? What were those?
Alfred, that's why I'm saying that their press conference was completely needless. In fact, it was not even needless, but baseless. Baseless accusation. The training he's talking of, I've just told you that we did training for our party agents and officials who are going to man the polling stations, which is constitutional. Party agents are allowed, and we have to train them. We have told them at the meeting when we met with the IGP and top policemen that NPP should go and train their party people. Because they don't train them, they come on election day to mess up everybody at polling station because they don't understand the electoral process. We don't do that. We invest a lot in training our party officials. And indeed, today, that was what we're doing. And we did it at public places, known by everybody. Go and check on my timelines. You will see the pictures there. People holding pink sheets. We're training them. You don't go and say that we're training tax. You will not train your people. Then you jump into the fray on Tuesday and go and be asking ignorant questions at the polling stations, creating confusion there. In fact, the IGP and his group are up to task. We are here in Akwatia, and I can assure you, the police are all over the place. They are manning the posts and checking everybody. In fact, my vehicle was searched 3 times today at 3 locations. I didn't stop them. That's their work. But they know me. But I will allow them to do their work. They are professionals.
Okay.
And so...
I appreciate you for this. And I know you are in there, in the constituency. Tomorrow we're going to be there on the ground as well. So we're building up strongly to Tuesday. We'll talk some more on this. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm grateful.
Rashid Tanko Computer is Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. Coming up next, let's look into the incident. Let's hear from the chair of the committee as it was presented earlier today.
Honorable Minister, the committee also found out that although there is videos evidence of verbal or word altercation between one Mr. Raff, his colleagues, and the staff members of the hospital, we are yet to receive any video evidence or a witness account of an alleged physical attack or altercation. There is, however, documentation in the hospital health information management system that the alleged victim, that's Miss Rejoice Tutu Bote, who is a rotation nurse, reported her injury to the hospital the day after the incident, that's on the 18th, and was further treated. There was no evidence of fracture on her left wrist or dislocation of her right shoulder, joint as documented by the medical records. She was, however, had been treated at the time we visited. Had been given some pain relief. He has been recommended for a bed rest and also has received psychological support care. There must be improvement in security presence at the emergency, the ambulance triage area by adding at least 1 personnel more at the gate and ensuring that the gates at the ED are always manned by security personnel. Additionally, we also propose that the CCTV cameras around is very limited to some of the care areas. And so we propose that if it is not for any privacy, they should add on some more CCTV to give evidence and also ensure that the staff will know that somebody is monitoring them in their work.
Well, so that's the chair of this fact-finding committee. Now, that's in sharp contrast to what this the nurse in question had claimed when this matter or this incident took place a little over a week ago. And that's been the main reason why, for instance, the Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwives Association has been on this path of raising serious concerns about what the minister did and what should have been done right. Now, this fact-finding committee is saying that there was no fracture and so on. So, what is it with the pictures and the videos that we saw? Because the nurse in question actually appeared in videos and narrated what had happened to her, that indeed there was a fracture. But the fact-finding committee establishes otherwise. But Dennis Paberi Wadam Esquire is with me because he's been studying this report it reveals something very interesting. And it's good to have you. Good evening. Thank you, as always, joining us. As always. Great stuff. Now, let's establish who these committee members are.
Well, so we just heard from the chair of the committee. That was Dr. Lawrence Oforibuedu. He is the director in charge of Institutional Care Division of the Ghana Health Service. We also have Mr. Wilfred Addo. He's a member, head of internal audit at the Ministry of Health. Mr. Lawrence Lawson, a member, human resource at the Ministry of Health. We have Mrs. Evelyn Amwako, a member. She is a deputy director, Ministry of Health, NM, Ministry of Health. We have Mr. Abubakar Mutio Rahman, a legal practitioner with the Ministry of Health. Also, Mr. Tony Goodman, Deputy Director, Head of Communications, the Ministry of Health. And then the secretary to this particular committee was Dr. Ebenezer Odro-Mensah. He's a Deputy Director of Clinical Services Development Department at the Ghana Health Service. Mind you, the committee was given some terms of reference, the key things to focus on, 4 items. And one, that they should investigate the circumstances that led to the alleged delay in providing health care to the patients brought under emergency, knowing the circumstances that led to this. The second was that they should investigate the events and factors that escalated into the alleged assault of a health professional. Third was for them to investigate the state of security at the hospital at the time of the incident. And finally, the number of nurses and doctors who were on duty at the time of the incident. So these were the terms of reference given to the committee to work with. Now, having done its work, the committee today presented its findings, and key amongst the findings, in specific response to their terms of reference. So on the question of delay, mind you, the first one that we looked at was for the committee to look at the circumstances that led to the alleged delay. So this finding that we're about to look at is one that answers the question of delay, whether or not there was even a delay in the first place. The committee came to the conclusion that there was no delay in attending to the patient with suspected head injury, who was the reason behind the agitation by Mr. Ralph Williams and the motorbike riders that he had been abandoned. However, it was found that all the diagnostics imaging equipment, that's X-ray, CT scan, MRI, at the emergency department were faulty and non-functional. Thus, all images requested at the emergency department ought to be done outside of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and this has been a contributory factor to delay in disposition from the initiation of definitive care. So from the from the outset, it says that there was no delay in attending to a patient.
Right.
However, in giving definitive care, there was a delay because of a key thing. That's the X-ray, CT scan, MRI at the emergency department were faulty and non-functional.
Right.
Now, to answer the question of escalating factors, that was terms of reference 2, or item 2, the committee says that although there's video evidence of a verbal or word altercation between Ralph, his colleagues, and staff members of the hospital, we are yet to receive any video evidence or a witness account of the alleged physical altercation or attack. It goes on to say that there is, however, documentation in the hospital health information system management system that the alleged victim, her name is provided here, Miss Rejoice Chocho Bote, reported her injuries on the left hand on the next day, which was on the 18th of August 2025, and was further treated. There was no evidence of fracture to her left wrist or dislocation on her right shoulder joint, as documented in her medical records. She was treated with pain relief, bed rest recommended, and received psychological support from a psychologist. That is the finding of the committee in respect of escalating factors. When it comes to matters of security, the committee says that security at the emergency department was grossly inadequate at the time of the incident, and that the hospital security arrangement of one private security person for 12-hourly shift at the emergency department is inadequate. Finally, On the question of number of nurses or doctors who were on duty, the committee also found that the number of staff on duty per shift in the hospital is woefully inadequate. There's a lot more, but these are the findings that answer directly to the terms of reference of the committee, Alfred.
Now, let's flip back to Rejoice Chucho, but what you just indicated, because there's a video which we have of her, right?
Precisely.
That
Okay, abusua wene ensema ekoso e political highway so eye Akwatia by-election. Se ho ensem na eguso etwegu ayede ede ebrem ayete Dr. Rashid Tanku se ode mema NPP for on the left right center back enye asem keto akra beda mase samoje pene kokoti za ensem we ede mai aha Ghana politics avenue so beda mase